The decision to bring CM Punk back to WWE is reportedly not in the hands of WWE's executive chairman Vince McMahon, but rather in the hands of WWE's chief content officer Paul Triple H Levesque, as well as WWE's president Nick Khan. Details on that, plus LA Knight reportedly already has or is very close to agreeing a new 5-year contract with WWE, and that was the reason behind the delay in the beginning of his main event babyface push in WWE. The merger between WWE and UFC is nearly complete, with it today being announced by Endeavor that the merger will be completed sometime next week. We've got details on the date about that. Plus, there was some concern about Von Wagner after the ending of NXT this week. We've got details and an update on his health. Becky Lynch will not be participating in the Superstar Spectacle in India. Details as to why Gunther is officially the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history. Rhea Ripley versus a big main event star has been teased for WrestleMania next year, and also an update as to why Gable Stevenson pulled out of a big amateur wrestling tournament. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about CM Punk going back to WWE. Is it indeed possible? Well, whoever's going to be making the decision is not going to be Vince McMahon. CM Punk, of course, is no longer All Elite after AEW announced he had been fired and terminated for cause with immediate effect following a backstage altercation with Jack Perry at AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium. Tony Khan is also believed to have been involved in the incident with Punk and Khan, since he claimed that he was left feeling that his life was in danger as a result. As the dust settles on the situation, many are wondering if CM Punk will want to return to wrestling and perform in a ring anywhere else, specifically if he'd ever return to WWE. Well, speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer gave his thoughts on CM Punk possibly returning to WWE and thinks Punk would at least be well received by the fans, if no one else. And it's quite interesting actually who he says would have the final call as to bring Phil Brooks back to the company. Here's what he said, quote, "It's Paul Levesque's Triple H decision and Nick Khan's decision. I don't know what they are going to do. If you listen to what people say, they don't want him back, but that doesn't mean they don't want him back. That just means, he didn't leave on the best of terms and people didn't like it. But there is still a chance to make money with him. I can see it going either way. At the end of the day, it's going to be what those two guys think. I don't know. I could easily see him saying no, but I could see him saying yes. I know historically with Vince, Vince did say no to Punk a couple of years ago, but that was a different situation. If it was Vince now or the old Vince under this circumstance, for sure he's taking him. He took the Ultimate Warrior when he was going to go to WCW. The old Vince, I don't think there was anyone that he didn't or he wouldn't have used if that person could make him money for disciplinary reasons or whatever. He continues by saying it's a different thing when he was out of sight, but now everyone is talking about him and it's going to hurt AEW if he is on WWE. The idea that he won't be over in WWE, Cody Rhodes proved that wrong, and the fans will welcome him back for leaving AEW. It's like he can go there as a babyface. They are not going to boo him. You could look at it at last year and say we don't need it. We are doing great. If they were not doing well, I would say 100% they would not want to do it, but would still do it. Because they aren't doing well, that changes it, but they are still going to sell a lot of merch. There are a lot of matches you can do, so we will see. So the question then becomes, do you think we will ever see CM Punk back inside of a WWE ring? According to Dave Meltzer, it's not up to Vince McMahon, it's up to Triple H and Nick Khan, but Vince McMahon surely will have some kind of influence in it because, of course, he is going to be part of the overall structure of WWE moving forward, particularly when this merger closes next week with UFC. Let me know your thoughts and predictions, as always, in the comment section below. Now, this is really fascinating news about LA Knight because throughout the summer and the spring, many people were wondering what's taking so long for WWE to push LA Knight. Well, according to a new report, it's because they were waiting and working on a new contract for the megastar. As previously noted, LA Knight is reportedly listed internally as the top babyface for WWE SmackDown brand. According to PW Insider, Knight and WWE officials have been negotiating a new long-term deal. It's being said that the contract is either close to being finalized finalized or has already been signed. Some sources believe that the extension is for up to 5 years. WWE, according to the report, was reportedly waiting for the right time to push Knight, and the long-term contract is something the company had apparently wanted to lock into place before moving forward with its creative plans. Knight has been booked strongly as of late with a victory in the SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal, and then he defeated The Miz while being endorsed by John Cena at the Payback Premium Live events. So that would line up with those reports that there was a babyface push in place, but now that he seemingly agreed to, signed, or very close to signing a new 5-year contract with WWE, now the plans are firmly in place and the foundations are in place to push LA Knight to the moon as the top babyface on SmackDown. A big bit of news today when it comes to the future of WWE, or rather TKO Group Holdings. It was revealed last month that the UFC WWE merger was expected to be finalized by mid to late September. Endeavor Group Holdings, UFC's parent company, and WWE have said today that they expect their previously agreed deal to form a new sports and entertainment company, TKO Group Holdings, to close on September 12. TKO will begin trading on the New York Stock Exchange once the transaction is complete. It was announced on April 3rd, the day after WrestleMania 39 had concluded at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California, that WWE and UFC would be merging under the Endeavor umbrella to create a company. Ari Emanuel, Endeavor CEO, and Vince McMahon, WWE's executive chairman, discussed the deal with CNBC after it had been announced. McMahon said the newly formed organization would become a, quote, 21 plus billion live sports and entertainment powerhouse. Yes. According to the new agreement, McMahon is set to become the executive chairman of the new organization, while Dana White will retain his role as president of the UFC, with Nick Khan switching from CEO of WWE to president of WWE. Emanuel will become CEO of TKO. It was recently reported, however, there was a sense of doom and gloom among WWE employees regarding the impending WWE and UFC merger. It's said that many in the company are worried about potential cuts once the deal closes. Now, as far as actual a press release, it was reported earlier on, but then confirmed by WWE. Here's the press release in question. It says, quote, Endeavor Group Holdings and World Wrestling Entertainment today announced that they expect to close the previously announced transaction to form TKO Group Holdings Incorporated on September 12, 2023, at which time TKO will begin trading on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol TKO. So that's expected to close next week. Do you think WWE employees have a right to feel concerned, considering there is expected to be cost-cutting synergies as previously announced by Ari Emanuel? Let me know your thoughts about that too in the comments section below. And there was some concern for Von Wagner this week after the end of NXT. Saw a scary spot and a very brutal angle, really, that got a lot of people talking. This past Tuesday night's episode of NXT went off the air on a harrowing note. Bron Breakker had just defeated Von Wagner in a no disqualification main event match, but the former WWE NXT champion was not done. Breakker proceeded to tear up the steel steps on the outside, place Wagner's head on the bottom of the steps, and smash his heads with the top one. Before making contact with Wagner's skull, the camera cut to black, so the fans at home did not actually see the act, but could hear the smash and subsequent commotion going on outside of the ring. A report had been circulating over the past 24 hours that the steel step spot actually went horribly wrong, and Breakker wound up making contact with Wagner's skull, creating chaos around the ring and backstage. A photo of Wagner being taken to the back on a stretcher with bloody bandages wrapped around his head had also been shared around on social media. You can see one of the pictures on the screen right now. After speaking with multiple sources within WWE, Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling is confirming that the spot went as planned and that Wagner is totally fine. They have not confirmed what their plans are moving forward, but it would seem that the two men are on a collision course for a match at NXT No Mercy later this month. So if you were concerned, or you read the report that led you to be concerned about Von Wagner, he's fine. The spot went as planned. It's all part of the greater plan, according to Nick Hausman, to build to a potential match sometime down the line. Now, Becky Lynch has announced that, unfortunately, she's not going to be in India tomorrow for the big Superstar Spectacle event. WWE has been dealt a blow ahead of its upcoming trip to India, with former women's champion Becky Lynch saying she's unable to travel due to a passport issue. For the first time since December 2017, the sports entertainment juggernauts will travel to India for the Superstar Spectacle event, with the likes of John Cena, Seth Rollins, and the Judgment Day all advertised to compete. However, as revealed via her social media India on Wednesday night, Lynch was not allowed to board her flight to India due to what she calls a small tear in her passport. She said, quote, "I'm sorry to all the fans in Hyderabad, India. I was so excited to perform for you, but as there was a tiny tear in my passport, I have not been allowed to board my flight." She also added at Qatar Airways. Now, WWE is yet to announce a replacement for Lynch on the tour. Rhea Ripley and Natalya are already slated to face off for the Women's World Championship at the show in Hyderabad, while Indian star Sangha and Veer of Indus will also be in action. The announcement of WWE's return to India came after the company signed a 5-year rights deal with Sony Pictures Networks India. However, the event is not expected to be broadcast to a worldwide audience, which again is very unfortunate. But Becky Lynch looks like, because of a passport issue, she's not going to be there. Now, today is the day Gunther has officially become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history. WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther has now broken the Honky Tonk Man's record, with WWE recognizing him as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever. Gunther became the Intercontinental Champion on the June 10, 2022 edition of SmackDown, defeating Ricochet for the gold. As of today, Thursday, September 7, the Ring General has held the gold for 454 days. WWE now recognizes Gunther as the star who has held the Intercontinental title for the longest single reign. Gunther has dethroned the Honky Tonk Man, who held the title for a recognized 453 days from June 1987 to August 1988. While the Honky Tonk Man technically held the gold for 454 days, WWE previously established that they only recognize his reign as 453 days long due to the title change airing on tape delay. Nevertheless, WWE officially recognizes Gunther as the longest reigning champion, and he'll probably add more days to that record anyway. WWE has now shared a graphic commemorating Gunther for reaching this milestone, which can be seen on social media. Triple H has since tweeted, quote, "Defining his own legacy, and this is just the beginning. Congratulations to Gunther on making history as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever." Gunther most recently defended his gold against Chad Gable in the main event of the September 4 edition of Monday Night Raw. So congratulations to Gunther. The question becomes, who do you think is going to be the person to defeat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at some point in the future? Now let's switch gears here and talk about WrestleMania next year, because Rhea Ripley has teased a possible big match for WrestleMania next year. Rhea Ripley has commented on a potential match against Becky Lynch, noting she'd invite that challenge for WrestleMania 40. The WWE Women's World Champion has dominated the locker room for most of her main roster run. While a match has been teased, Ripley has yet to finish a singles match against Becky Lynch. Speaking with India Today, Ripley recalled her one encounter with Lynch on NXT in 2019 ending after interference from Shayna Baszler. Wanting the opportunity to prove that she's better than the man on the grandest stage of them all, Ripley said, quote, "I expect a huge challenge from the man, Becky. She has definitely made her name for herself in this company. She's accomplished so much. She's going down in history as one of the best, and she will 110% be in the Hall of Fame one day. She's really made her own legacy. But like Becky, like Charlotte, like Sasha, like Bayley, like the Four Horsewomen, they've all made a name for themselves, but at the end of the day, when you step in the ring with Mammy, it's a whole different kind of challenge. And if it were to be myself and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40, you know, I invite the challenge. Like you said, went one-on-one in NXT, and there was no clear winner because it was a DQ because of Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. Just had to come down and ruin that for me when I was in the stride of my life. So I would like to see what the outcome would be. I would love to step in the ring with her. I think it would be a great challenge. But at the same time, I feel like she doesn't exactly know what Mammy is capable of. And like what happened at WrestleMania 39, Charlotte underestimated me. She thought I was still a child that she wrestled at WrestleMania 36. I'm not. I'm a completely different animal. I'm a monster these days. I'm a nightmare. I'm an eradicator. And it's me and Becky. I'm just saying Mammy is going to end up on top, just like she always does. So would you like to see that match happen at WrestleMania? Do you think it will happen at WrestleMania? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Finally, Gable Stevenson. Of course, it was an interesting week for the former Olympic gold medalist. It was announced this week that Gable Stevenson had decided against competing at the 2023 Senior World Championships later this month. During an appearance on Wrestling Observer Radio, longtime wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer spoke about Stevenson's situation, saying, quote, "This is a real weird one," Meltzer said. "So he's not doing the World Championships is the gist of the story. The whole thing is so strange because he not only competed, he competed in 2 events to get where he was going to do what he was going to do at the World Championships, and then doesn't compete in the World Championships, and he dominated the events. Ultimately, it was so weird to me because last week he was still listed as doing it, but every time I asked people at WWE, is he doing it? I never got an answer. They had to approve him doing it. So they approved him going back to the US for Nationals this year. They approved him doing that. He blitzed everybody. Then Final X, where he would face Mason Parris for the shot. He beat him in 2 straight matches, dominated in both matches as well. Meltzer said he didn't know if Stevenson was going to wrestle again. He also wasn't sure if WWE would allow him to compete again. Meltzer found it weird because there was a big thing about Stevenson never winning a world championship in amateur wrestling. Stevenson previously won gold medals and at the NCAA Division I Wrestling Championships and the Olympics. So what are your thoughts on Gable Stevenson's future, and where do you think this goes from here? But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.